Hi, everyone. I am Angelique Jackson, a senior entertainment writer at Variety, and thank you so much for joining us in this winter wonderland. I mean, we have transported you. We apologize to those of you, of course, who are coming to us virtually. You can't really feel the snow that's happening in here. We've really gone all out. Okay, it's not quite that chilly, but we are embracing all things Candy Cane Lane, and thank you for joining us for this global press conference. I am going to kind of quickly jump into this here. So without really further ado, joining us first is the director of Candy Cane Lane, Reginald Hudlin. And next we have the producer and star, Eddy Murphy. Joining us now, we have the great Tracee Ellis Ross. Very graceful. It was beautiful. Balletic, if you will. We have, coming up next, we have Madison Thomas. Followed by the lovely Genneya Walton. And last but not least, rounding out this wonderful Carver family, we have Thaddeus J. Mixson. Thank you for joining us for this lovely, I don't know, we're in Kringles, we're all wearing our holiday attire. Does it feel like you're back on set? I mean, you truly created a winter wonderland while making this film. So Reginald, I'm gonna pitch that idea to you first. This was a massive undertaking, and you all really created this world that we got a chance to witness on screen.
It was well, first of all, we shot a big chunk of the movie on the Universal lot. And even though I've been making movies a long time, when you drive on to the Universal lot and then, you know, you turn onto Steven Spielberg Drive, and then you pass the site. What's happening?
Nothing. We are listening to you, Reggie.
But the main thing is I miss them. I'm very happy to see them again, even though they're clowning me right now.
No one's clowning you. No one's clowning you.
I imagine this was the exact dynamic that went on during filming as well.
Yeah, and look, I was fortunate enough to work with some of the funniest people in entertainment. And, you know, I was the butt of jokes in Boomerang, and here I am again.
I was wondering, and a lot of our journalists here were wondering, how the dynamic changed since making Boomerang, but it sounds like it was pretty much the same.
Same dynamic, just a little slower. Slower, a little stiffer. Same dynamic.
Well, Eddy, what was it like?
I should be talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
What was it like reuniting after these years together, and specifically for a movie like this? Because it's my understanding you were interested in and kind of looking for a Christmas movie to make, and then it comes together and is also this wonderful reunion too.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
I mean, we had been talking, you know, we would connect and we would throw ideas back and forth. And then I was meeting with Amazon, and I was like, I really want to do a Christmas movie. We have a Christmas movie, and Eddy Murphy wants to do it. I'm like, let's start Monday. It's not complicated.
But actually, he put together like this great presentation, like the best I'd ever seen anybody put together, and how he would do the movie and stuff. It was like, hey, this is a no-brainer. He just saw the whole thing from the beginning.
What was it about Christmas movies that you love so much? You know, what was it about Chris Carver that made you say, yeah, this is the type of character I want to play and jump into this world?
Well, I thought the script was unique, and I thought that it had all the elements that you're supposed to have in a Christmas movie where, you know, you could watch it over and over again. Like, I know the movies that I watch, the Christmas movies, we watch them every year, you know, all the time. And I thought this could, you know, be one of those kind of movies that families could revisit.
And for this to be your first one, too, because there is a debate as to whether or not Trading Places as a Christmas film.
And Coming to America.
And Coming to America.
Christmas
time.
season movies
season.
are different than a Christmas movie.
And in Delirious, I have on a red suit. That's very
exactly.
Christmas.
So there's suggestions
Yeah,
of
I'm
holiday.
suggesting holiday
yes,
in
yes, yes, yes,
Delirious.
yes, yes.
Tracee, can you define that for me? What does
The suggestion of holiday. This is the suggestion of holiday. And hijinks. Hijinks always says holiday. That's what I saw in the script. Hijinks, Eddie Murphy. I'm in.
What does make a Christmas movie iconic, though? Because that is what you all are making here. You're making something that, like you said, Eddie, families will watch over and over again and find new things to laugh at, new hijinks that are fun. So, Tracee, yes, what defines an iconic Christmas film for you?
Well, I think love, family, and a message that's at the center of it, which we have in this movie, that the family comes together to conquer a bad elf, a rogue elf, so to speak. I think the thing that's special about this movie is it's an adventure comedy Christmas movie. So it's funny, there's adventure, as I said, there's hijinks, action, children, lots of lights and decoration, special effects, Eddie Murphy. These are a lot of the elements, but it's a good story that has all these elements on it. And we hope that it becomes a holiday classic.
There's also just a little dollop of fear. Like when, when I was a kid and I saw Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Abominable Snowman came, I was terrified.
Yeah, Jillian Bell is yes, seriously, that moment when she appears in this, you're just like, what is happening? And why does that twinkle in her eye actually look like evil in her eye?
Right, because it is in fact evil. Yes, it is. And like, there's a movie, I remember, I never saw the movie, but I remember the ad when I was a kid. Eddie, I don't know if you ever saw this. Remember Santa Claus Conquers the Martians?
What?
I think vaguely.
This was like set every day where I would reference something.
It wasn't a cartoon.
And Tracee
though.
would go, "What are you talking about?" No, it was live action.
And what's the woman that's a singer was Pia Zadora?
He is Zadora.
Yeah, maybe
okay.
she was.
Yeah.
Anyway, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians scared me. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I don't know why Santa's on Mars. I don't know why he's the last line of defense for.
And with Pia Zadora too. I mean, this is a strange film.
Right. So it's fear.
Were there any other? Yeah, I was looking down at y'all. I was like,
She was in that movie, and then she became a singer, and she was married to a guy that owned a casino in Vegas.
Her name was Pia Zadora.
Pia
which is
Zadora.
her first name was Pia. The last name was Zadora.
She did a
which is
duet
brilliant.
with Jermaine Jackson.
I was about to say.
That's a reference, There you go. What you guys don't know that I learned doing this film is that Eddie is an extraordinary film and music buff beyond belief. And the references, the film references,
Yeah, I have
the music,
pretty obscure references.
they are pretty obscure. I watched one of them.
I told you to watch
Yeah.
all of his movies. You just watched the
I watched the one and I thought, I'm good.
I don't know how you could just watch that one movie and not.
I've never
curious
been more
about it.
disturbed in my life.
I told her to watch
Oh, come on.
Santa Sangre by Alejandro Jodorowsky. It was a Jodorowsky movie.
What a reference.
Did not expect him to reference that film.
This is what I'm saying. Conversations with Eddie, they're very deep. Very,
Deep, but you know.
they're very deep.
He has very eclectic, deep takes.
Yes. And that is what informed our Christmas film. Enjoy. Thank you. Good night.
I mean, Tracee, I'm so glad you asked that question because that was my next question. The idea of, okay, well then how did that build into Chris?
No, what
were
that
these
built
references?
into was a relationship and a connection and chemistry for a husband and wife for the Carvers on TV. Well, you'll watch it on your small screen or your big screen in a movie. So yeah, it built to rapport. It did not inform our film. I'm joshing.
The holiday season is also for just joshing with the family.
That's right.
We all feel like family in this room here today. And I want to head down to y'all, to the younger members of the Carver family. What was it like jumping in here with, icons like Eddy and Tracee and Reginald here and building that family bond between the five of y'all?
Why are you looking at us like that? First of all, I was horrified, but like for the best reasons possible. And I was like, girl, you better have your stuff together. I think my first day was on the track scene. Yeah. You know, I look up to you guys so much, and I'm inspired by all of your work. So getting to work with you guys was wonderful, and I learned so much, truly, just from watching you guys do what you do. So it was freaking sick.
I tell you right now, boy, I was nervous. I was nervous. I ain't know what. I was just like, man, I was just watching y'all on TV. Now I'm about to actually share the screen with y'all. Like, it's truly an honor, for real. Like, I'm blessed to even have the opportunity to even work with y'all, so for real. And also work with Reggie as well. I worked with him on my first ever movie, so it's always fun when I work with him, so it's a blessing.
Yeah, I was very nervous because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know anything.
She had no idea who
Like,
we were.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know anybody, you know? But then, you know, we started working more on set, and then I kind of felt comfortable, and then that's how we started building a relationship.
We had fun. The big head crew.
Oh, you're so true.
I have those pictures, and they will be going on the internet. Yep, I have them all. Yeah, I have them too. Yes, we decided that we were a family of all large four-headed people.
Pictures with
Where we're
picture the
camera was
to
above,
angle,
and we
but-
just kept creating 6, 5, and 6 and 7 heads instead of just 4
You'll see
heads.
those very soon.
It was very good.
I'm not going to say there was a specific reason I felt seen watching this movie, but that may have been. But truly, you know, what also did you learn from getting a chance to work with these two? Because, Genneya, you mentioned the track scene is a big scene. There's a lot of action involved in that scene. Yeah. There's a lot of this magic, this movie magic that goes on, which Reginald, I prefer to call you Reginald. Which I want to get into as well, the actual this animation, if you will, this CGI, this really incredible work that happens in this movie too. But Genneya, I'll continue that question to you first about what do you learn when you walk on set for that first day and you see Eddy and Tracee there? What did you pick up from being on this film with them?
I think the main thing was probably just getting out of my own head. Because there's a lot going on set, but I mean they're absolute pros at just improving and just being on top of it. So I was having to be on my toes and be like, oh, what's gonna happen next? I don't know, and I'm so grateful to have been granted that opportunity to have that creative freedom, and it was a great learning experience, and yeah.
What about you, Thaddeus? What did you learn?
Man, seeing them snap into character so fast, I was like, man, that's crazy. Man, let me figure out how I can do this every single time on any other future projects that I do, because if I can learn that trait and perfect it the way that they do, I could definitely become, very successful in this industry. So I really picked up on that.
And you, Madison?
When I first walked into set, it was my first movie. I was like, this is my first movie. It's really big. And I didn't know anything, but once I saw them two, I felt very comfortable around them, and I felt like I could do this. Like, I learned a lot from you guys.
I mean, that comfort level is what comes through on the screen, and also what allows you all to have such great chemistry and improvise. Tell me a little bit about that process, because I know that the writer of this film, Kelly Younger, who we'll be speaking to later, was on set with you all too, and we got to see that great gag reel at the end. That's also a Christmas, or just like a classic movie staple.
It's funny outtakes. It's funny stuff.
Push it.
A lot of funny outtakes.
It's a lot of fun. No, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, these young people down here were extraordinary, because I said, look, I'm working with two of the best, with Eddy and Tracee, so these kids have to play at that level. And it's not just knowing your lines, it's also being able to freestyle. That, this comedy at this level is also a level of improvisation. So this is Miles Davis doing Kind of Blue, but it's jokes, right? So And I mean, TJ I worked with before on a movie I did called Safety, and I knew, and that was his first movie, first acting, first anything, and he was extraordinary. Right. So I, as Kelly and I were shaping the script, I kept, well, you know, we're going to have a musical number because he can dance. I kept going.
And he can dance.
Right.
Okay.
So I was like, well, we better cast him because I'm really presuming that he's this part. Right, so he came on board, and that was great. And with Genneya, she just had an explosive energy in her reads that I was like, wow, this is exactly right. This is an athlete. This is a bright young lady who's getting ready for the next change in her life. She epitomizes this role. And Madison came in, and she was just so doggone funny. Right? Because it's just like, look, you're going to be doing tons of scenes with Eddie Murphy. Like, you have to carry your weight. And she did. And it was just like, okay, well, we got the dream team here. We're good. And we work really fast. There's a tremendous amount of improvisation. And, you know, I like to surround Eddie with the best, and we got the best.
The thing about Eddie Murphy is, I'm going to call you Eddie Murphy every time, the whole time, just the whole name. If I had a middle name, I'd do it too.
That's what they called me since the 10th grade.
The thing about
grade.
Eddy,
my whole name,
is he's hilarious, but what makes everyone hilarious around him is he's a really generous actor. So he's not just a stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extremely generous.
He is
actor.
so generous as an actor. But he is, because it's not all about Eddie being the funny person in the scene. It's about Eddie. See, well, okay, obviously I learned well. Like, what was that?
Well, I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
Yes.
That compliment of me is correct. For Eddie, it's about the groundedness, which is, the reason that I've loved his comedy for so long. It's not based in being funny; it's based in being real. And so there's a connection that has to be there for it to come across in the right way, and that's what he does. He's not sitting there trying to get you to set up his funny and his jokes. He's actually in a scene playing with you. That's what makes it fun, and that's what makes it work. And I think, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's what I experienced. And what a treat and an honor at this point in my career to be able to work with somebody that you've, admired, whose work you've known and grown up with to a certain extent, even though we're basically the same age.
No, I'm a little older.
Just a little bit.
You can say you grew up.
Okay, is that okay? It's not offensive?
I've been in this business for 47 years.
And I am 47.
So you
and I'm
so you can say
I'm
you grew
51.
up.
No, he was 10 when he started. But anyway, to grow up on
I
somebody
was 15 when
and then have, get to a point in your career where you get to work with that person and it's better than you expected. And also something that you wouldn't have dreamt up. I didn't think, one day I'm going to work with Eddie Murphy, but what?
But that's
There you
what
go.
happened to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I did this, my first movie, a little movie called House Party, right? And we get a call from Eddie Murphy.
You put the little before it just for effect. Was that like on purpose?
Yeah, I did a little classic called.
Little show, you might have heard of it. Anyway, go ahead.
I did a small seminal film.
That people teach about in classes.
And then the National Film Registry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, so we get a call like, Eddie Murphy wants to have a meeting. You're like, what?
What did I do wrong?
what? And then he got on the phone. He goes, you get the joke. And that's
And he did a college film called Cold Waves. that I
right. He
also
was tracking me before even. Yeah.
So
So he's like, you get the joke, which is the highest level of compliment because, I'm gonna speak for you and correct me if I'm wrong. Like, he's like, are you funny? Are you funny? Yes or no?
It's a good bar with Eddie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was the thing.
and not just are you funny? Do you know when it's not funny? Ooh. That's even more important than are you funny?
Right. Because I remember, after the first day or so, and you left, and Eddie was like,
I left?
yes. And we were talking about you and how great you were, and Eddie was like, she's funny.
Don't say it, my head will swell.
And it was
Did it get bigger? Is my head bigger? Is it bigger?
No.
Oh.
Still lovely.
So anyway, I'm off. I didn't answer your question.
No, you were answering my question beautifully. Y'all take it from here, please. Well, fine. I will continue to ask a further question, Eddy. I would love to hear the rest of that story from your perspective of what made working with Tracee work so well.
So awkward.
I'm sorry. What'd you say there?
Did you like working with her?
Yeah, she's game and she's a good actress, you know, and she likes to improvise and she's always trying to make the scene better as well. So.
God, that's uncomfortable. I'm okay.
She's also
she's always trying to make the scene real.
Right, and
First of all, she's game. She's game. She'll go for it, you know. And you see her jump around, digging around in the box for chicken. You know,
Fearless.
She's game.
My favorite take, you could see that I didn't have my shoes on.
I didn't notice that.
When I'm digging in the styrofoam, my favorite take, because I was so far in the box, you could tell I didn't have my shoes on.
And didn't you leave a little bit right after that last night?
I think that was my last scene.
I didn't know. No, you had lots of scenes after.
No, the in the styrofoam
box
was
was
my last scene of the movie. The last time.
Last night at the screening.
Yes.
That's when you left.
Yes,
and
Eddy.
I thought that it was the music, that it was too loud, so it was bothering me that it was too loud. Then when you left, I was like, oh, she walked out. She was like,
No, I was trying to preserve my energy. You know, I am 51 now. I have to get my beauty rest in order to look pretty for the morning.
Really?
Yes, I had to go to bed because I'd been up since 5, and I was tired.
So you don't just wake up like this and they put a little...
No, you know the
stick on
Beyonce song, I Woke Up Like This? Yeah. Not me. I stick my whole body in a vat of ice.
Upon waking or before you go to sleep?
Before I go to sleep, when I wake up. No, at night it's heat, and then in the morning, no, I'm just, sorry. Please.
I mean, it kind of did go with the theme. It is a snowy. I already
That's
made
exactly
an ice joke
right.
once.
Snowy. Sorry, everybody.
Well, as we wrap this up, I do want to speak to the idea that this is a real fantastical film. And because of that, that means that at certain points in time, some people, including one person on this stage, do become a smaller character. What was it like, you know, really filling out that kind of, and Reginald, apologies because I still don't know exactly how to describe the technology. But how did that work for all of you? And Eddy, what was it like for you to participate in that? Small. Yeah, I guess becoming small. That's a good way of explaining it. Yeah,
when you see the special effects shots and stuff like that, those things are really time consuming, and it's awkward, and it's. It's just a lot of work doing a sequence like that. So it's not like you feel like what it's like to get small. It's really like putting a jigsaw puzzle together when you're doing those sequences. So it was just long and frustrating.
Because you're acting with an imaginary thing, and sort of it requires a different kind of acting.
Like, remember we were outside shooting. You were like, okay, I want you to look in here, and you're shrinking and doing it. I was like, hey, I can't do no shit like that. I was just, what?
Right, and then you would do it exactly. Right, and this is the thing. The thing is, I've always said that Eddy deserved an Oscar for his performance in Nutty Professor.
For sure.
Right? Because it's like, there's no acting school that says this is how to act against a tennis ball, right? But he did that. He played two different women that were completely different women, right? But because people go, oh, it's just laughs, it's not funny, that's not hard. Like, it's incredibly hard. And he was a pioneer in that style of performance, which he doesn't get credit for.
No, he gets credit for it.
But he doesn't get enough.
He hasn't gotten the accolades that I think.
People like it.
People love it. I do think, though, that people underestimate what comedy takes. Both the timing, the editing, just the entire process of what that is, particularly when you're trying to shoot it in a film. And when you're doing it with special effects, it is not easy.
Right.
It was really strange, actually.
And I really have to give credit to the people at ILM because
Is that the company that did the?
the special effects.
Yeah.
So it's like the Star Wars, Jurassic Park people. They know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Just a few.
And the thing is, their comedy instincts were impeccable because, you know, we took the voice work of Eddy and all the village people of, you know, Robin Thede and Nick Offerman and
Chris Redd.
And they had face reference, but not body reference. And they came up with all this fantastic physical comedy on top of the great verbal comedy. And that was amazing. It was a great collaboration working with them on that.
Yeah, but in answer to your question, for me, doing that, it's that's where I feel like I don't have any control. I don't know what's going on. I have to trust in everybody else to make sure it's right when I'm doing a scene like that, because it's so technical and all of this. Like I said, it's like shooting little pieces in a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, because acting is about responding and bouncing and doing this thing, and then you're sort of you're hearing something over here and looking at a light cue that's over here. It's confusing.
Right. But the very fact that, I mean, I didn't intend for us to have to invent some technology, but we did. You know, we had this reindeer system so that the actors, the villagers and the live action actors could act in the same scene at the same time and improvise, which made
And remember how I was whenever we were shooting
You
that
were
stuff, I was
irritated
Really, yeah, it was. We
to
had,
no
'cause
end.
you had
Eddy
in the
loved
ear-
it.
You had an earpiece in, and you had everybody's voice coming in the earpiece, and you had they were back in another part of the stage, and you had to imagine you're looking at these little people and they're talking and improvising. It was like, it's a madhouse, a madhouse. But it came together.
incredibly well.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, it was a lot, but you know, I wasn't acting.
He was like, "Do it again, funnier."
But the only reason why you can accomplish something like that to the level that was done here is because everyone is, one, so talented, but also has that chemistry and are collaborators, true collaborators. And
Well, the only way we were able to do something like that is we had a good director steering the way through it. That's how we do it.
Thank you, sir.
Directors make movies. They make the movies. And actors are in the movies.
Oh, that's
But
interesting.
directors
I like
make
that.
the movies.
Did you see what this is such an Eddie Murphy move? I was like, sorry.
Well, I thank you all for telling us a little bit about what it took to make this beautiful movie and to make a Christmas classic. I think based on the criteria that we established here on this stage, I think we can go with it. This is one now.
That's for you guys. You got to make that call.
Anybody? I see some nods. I see some nods in the audience. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Eddy and Tracee and Madison and Genneya and Thaddeus.
Thaddeus. We know him as something different.
Oh,
DJ.
TJ, of course. Well, we appreciate you all, and we appreciate you all at home watching as well. Stay tuned with us as we do part 2 of this conversation and learn a little bit more about how we made Candy Cane Lane.
Thank you.